normally speedrun my way through video games, but every so often I come across a gem, like a hole in the wall you put a grenade into. It's not a quest or a mission, something genuinely added for fun. You know, waterfalls you'd walk behind when you were a kid. And the first step of discovering that brings us to Celico, because it turns out once you break into the bank vault, there's a secret room. Take a look at the safety deposit boxes and they'll reveal this hidden opening full of corridors, except nobody was expecting someone else to be down there.
Let's play another game.
Okay, who could that be? Well, that's when you turn the corner and find a teddy bear. Oh, pretty cute, he even wants a hug.
I'm Teddy 11. Do you want to play? Give me a hug. You're very special.
Might seem like a lighthearted Easter egg, but you won't believe what happens if you hug him too many times.
Am I speaking a different language here? Cut it out. How's this for a fair hug? You just don't listen, do ya?
Dead Space, it's a pretty horrifying game, so when players walked into this room with the summoning circle on the ground, I mean, yeah, you know, it's an average day on the Dead Space ship. It looked like a decoration and a ton of people just walked out, continued exploring, except if you looked really closely at this circle, you would see hands and footprints on the ground. Wasn't long before they realized they were staring at a puzzle of melees and stomps. Yet I don't think anyone knew where this was going.
There once was a ship from the sea, CD, Ishimura, USG. She crack on boom with gravity. Go me, bully boys, go. Huh.
Okay, so a sea shanty, it's pretty surprising, but I can guarantee you will never see this next Easter egg coming. There's a game called Vladik Brutal, and you basically just go through the game wiping out creepy mutant monsters. But if you go into one of the restrooms, you'll find the weirdest character of all. Don't ask how I learned this, but you need to fire at every single toilet until eventually what about a secret that's so hard to find you couldn't possibly figure out what your reward is? Well, in Nier Automata, there was an Easter egg which took almost 4 years to discover, and it turns out it was sitting in the first boss room the whole time. Lance McDonald spent thousands of hours trying to find this game's final secret, and after so much effort, he realized it was actually pretty simple. Once you beat the opening boss, you just stand between these two barrels and input the platinum code from Bayonetta 2. Your reward is straight up skipping from the prologue to the end credits, like it takes seconds to do it.
The cheat code will work, and the screen will fade to black. With this activated, the game will skip all the way to the post-credits scene of the final ending.
Crime Scene Cleaner is basically a game for the people who want a chill experience like House Flipper, but they crave something more gross. Well, even though you are literally washing up the aftermath of murders in this game, it's still pretty straightforward. Except that's until you find an Easter egg that has a terrifying turn. In the security room of the art museum, you'll find these colored monitors which are basically begging you to solve the puzzle, and once you've done so, a secret room reveals itself. Oh cool, a new collectible. But wait, it's actually a whole new game. Now, I don't think anyone realized they could be a Marvel villain in God of War. In fact, this Easter egg has been sitting in people's inventory. They had no idea it existed. Throughout the game, you can find a talisman called the Shattered Gauntlet of Ages, which doesn't stand out at all, except you could upgrade it by finding enchantment runes. As you progress, you'll notice that these runes all have a theme: space, time, power, mind, reality, soul. You get the deal. Long story short, you're basically gathering all the Infinity Stones from Avengers for your very own Infinity Gauntlet. Now, Expedition 33, it's taken the world by storm lately, and people think it should be Game of the Year. But if you want to appreciate the developers that made it happen, all you need to do is find this secret room. In the Manor's kitchen, rotate these 3 objects to reveal a hatch in the floor. Then make your way through the crack in the wall, and it'll lead you to this. Yeah, it's everyone who worked on the game, including Sandfall's office dog, Monaco. He's even listed on their website as their official happiness manager, so I want to know how I could get a job here too. That's not even the best way you can find Monaco in the game. They straight up added a Mario 64 style painting that you could jump through. Yeah, now you found Monaco's office. It is full of paintings of him and even has a cozy looking dog bed. One of the most hidden Easter eggs in Dying Light 2 has an ending you probably never expect. You see, around the open world, there are 5 black rubber ducks that, they seem pretty innocent until you discover the altar room in the basement. Dun dun dun. There's a whole ritual going on here, and you can contribute to it yourself by placing all 5 ducks on the table. Then you need to attach cables to each other across the room, and players quickly figured out there's only one shape you can make when summoning a demon, a pentagram. So with the shape complete, it was time for the ritual. They're summoning demons, but who would fight them afterwards? Well, no one expected Doomslayer. And speaking of Doom, in the new Dark Ages game, you can find a ton of collectible toys, and none of them have a special animation, except for this one. When you find Doomslayer, you'll hear a reference to the OG game. On the topic of killing hordes, Black Ops zombies, they're pretty much known for their Easter eggs, like it's the whole thing at this point, yet they're usually grand stories with tons of steps. I don't think anyone predicted a secret would be hiding in this manhole. Turns out, you throw a grenade down here and you'll hear this. So like me, most players moved on and shrugged it off as a cool detail, but this is where things take an insane turn. If you throw up to a dozen grenades down here, you'll be rewarded with more and more items, from scrap to weapons, even power-ups. And things get really unpredictable in The Evil Within 2. Let me tell you, this Easter egg is already super hard to find. You basically have to search for multiple zombies hiding under cars, and then follow them back to a house without being spotted. If you're seen, you fail the Easter egg, ruin the whole thing. Once you've got 3 zombies back to the house, then you gotta take them out with stealth skills one at a time. What happens next? Well, you should turn around.
Hopefully it gets better. A lot better.
Wasn't expecting to get a giant friend out of this, not gonna lie. But at least he's just hanging out, unlike the creepiest animal in Gears of War 3. Been a while since this game released, but in the slab multiplayer map, you're usually way too distracted to realize this ball can roll around. Nothing special, most games do this nowadays, but if you let it across the map and into this hole in the fence, things got really weird.
Say hi to your friends for me.
And you need to step on the rat.
And speaking of multiplayer Easter eggs, Black Ops 6 has a secret that basically no one knows about. Guess I'm kind of ruining that, but the Nuketown map has been around since the day of launch, and there's an actual nuke sitting in the middle, and not many people pay attention to it, mostly because when you shoot it, nothing happens, but what if you just don't stop shooting it? And you won't believe what's hiding in the background of this shot from GTA 6's trailer. I know, maybe a little too fast right there, but for a few seconds, Jason's aiming his gun, and you can see a bunch of blurry DVDs in the store. Super hard to even tell what we're looking at here. And yet one Redditor has realized this is an Easter egg belonging to Michael from GTA 5. One of the missions in the last game lets you attend the premiere of Meltdown. It's a terrible film that he produced. Thought we'd seen the last of it, but no, I guess it's collecting dust on Vice City shelves now. Now, you can't make an Easter eggs video without talking about Hitman. On the nightclub level, once you've eliminated all of the targets, don't leave. Go into the parking lot and snap a photo of this UFO. Shows up as intel, basically begs you to look into this further, and that's when players found another secret, this payphone. You could actually type numbers into the keypad, and if you write 1993, the year the movie UFO came out, you'll get a secret escape route. We're keeping up with the sci-fi theme. Borderlands, the pre-sequel, has a monolith hiding in plain sight. It's obviously a nod to 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's when I touched it, and the Easter egg goes to a completely different level. If we're talking about Easter eggs that take you by surprise, imagine how Moist Critical felt when he found a Wojak of himself in Schedule 1.
Easter egg behind Mayor's house. I've seen, people have told me, I haven't seen it in-game, but I've seen what it looks like in-game. Oh, nice, there it is. I think that looks wonderful.
Oh, actually, I guess he was pretty cool with it, but still, it's pretty awesome. At least he is sort of recognizable, but what about when you find a photo that's a total mystery? After Resident Evil 4's helicopter crash, you could look all the way in the distance and see someone staring at you. You know, the whole game is supposed to be creepy, but then players enabled no-clip for a closer look, and it's literally a 2D cutout of a random guy. Now, you have to understand, it's been 20 years, and no one knows who this is. We are no closer to solving the mystery. If you guys want to see a part 2, let me know some cool Easter eggs in the comments. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on T5G.